with that, let me bring in my partner in justice, Shady Grooove. Shady, it is September 15th, 2020 at 1:47 p.m. Let's go ahead and cover some Q posts on this session.
Yeah, let's do it while they leave us alone.
Let's do it while it's hot. All right, so it is hot. So meanwhile, we just saw history being made with the president signing peace accords with Israel, UAE, and Bahrain. 5 or 6 more to come. We're following the events today. Yesterday, Monday, we had the president in California. Let's continue with the Q post that we didn't get to last night when YouTube and I even touched up the what do you call them, Shady? The different settings as well, according to our webmaster. So very interesting. So we got some Q posts last night. After our show. The last one was here at 13:39. We had a bunch of them on our show. So if you didn't see yesterday's show, go check it out. It's cool when Q posts live on our show. It's always very honoring. And this is the Q post right here, and it's talking about a patriot, a noun. Here we go. This is it. This is Q post 4705, where we left off, Shady. At 9:14, 18:20, a noun, a person who loves, supports, and defends his or her country and its interest with devotion. A person who loves their country and, if necessary, will fight for it. A person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors. A person who regards him or herself as a defender, especially of individual rights, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Q, and here's the video. Here we go. Hold the line.
The line is faltering! Wait! No retreat!
Retreat.
Hold the line!
That's an amazing movie clip right there, guys. And that is what Q dropped us to with that post, Shady. You want to take the next one? This one's pretty damning. These people, Shady, can't be starting fires anywhere. They didn't set our flag on fire. They never rioted with the protest, quote unquote, peaceful protests. They never burned any buildings, or they were never seen burning themselves. They don't burn stuff, Shady. How could they burn stuff out in the wild, Shady? These are wildfires, right? These aren't, Antifa or anything, are they?
Well, no, I'm sorry to say that we do have a shift now. Climate change has moved to the inner cities. It does loot Macy's, and it will burn down cars on your streets. It will attack police officers, and now climate change has suddenly turned into a horde of arsonists out here on the West Coast. So it comes in many forms, my friend.
So go ahead and take this post.
This is 4706, and Q points to the picture with them burning the flag, and he says, insurgency can be defined as the organized use of a subversion and violence to seize, nullify, or challenge political control of a region. Domestic terrorism. It's not hidden anymore, bud.
The communists call not only for extensive chaos within the cities, but for putting to the torch every village, every forest, every field, and every barn. The plan is for raging fires from one city to the next. The reason? Well, first, there's the value of sheer destruction. Secondly, It would force us to deploy our defenses and rescue units over the widest possible area. The communists point out that as long as our police and National Guard remain concentrated, they're invincible. But if they can be forced to spread out over the entire city and into the countryside as well, then they can be picked off from ambush one by one. And the third value of massive fire to the communists is psychological. The average American, they say, soft and decadent, when he sees billows of black smoke rising from one horizon to the other, when at night the only light he has to see by is the flickering red from flames leaping into the sky, he'll become paralyzed with fear and panic. He'll run away and hide and do nothing to interfere with the guerrilla bands as they strike at the community's power centers.
Nothing to see here, Shady.
No, I mean, this wasn't told to us years ago by the people who were observing the exact structure that we currently are dealing with in public, except they were seeing it behind the scenes. And this is so prophetic.
There it is.
And, you know, like with what we just watched with the president, you know, I'd like to bring everyone's attention. I was talking about the symbolism of everything that you saw. If you were paying extra attention, you saw that all three of the leaders, each of them, Netanyahu and the other two, with the center camera shot right there between the two pillars, you saw the leader and you saw your president. You did not see the other two during any one of their presentations. And the reason for that is because your president currently is the puppet master of all of these people, all of them. They are currently being freed from their chains of destruction and bound to the future of ascension. They're bound to this movement. They're bound to unity and the truth, which is war is a racket, and it's only there to keep the powers that be in control. And we are undermining that. And they were standing there in solidarity with your president. And if you noticed, they were a little bit nervous for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, this is historic, and they're afraid of the people that have had them politically, you know,
hijacked or blackmailed or whatever it is.
So this is another one, Q. This is 4707. It's Mr. Andy No. I actually met him in Doral. What a great guy. Prayers. This is why are they provided safe haven from the Democrats? Q. And this is Andy No. And I wanted to just say prayers and thank you for standing up. We are with you. And that's from me. Let's listen to this. Andy No. Wow.
Very, very courageous, independent journalist out there. This guy is real. I mean, he's in Portland and really, you know, doing his homework on these people. He's not messing around. They came straight at him. He knows it's not just ragtag people that are protesting someone who was killed by police.
That's right.
He knows it.
He knows. Yeah. And he's been investigating this for a long time. This is Follow the Pen. Who is financing Follow the Pen? Q, Shady. And this goes to Miss Harridge, Catherine Harridge from CBS. It says, whistleblower, Portland protest breaking. According to this DHS government email obtained by CBS News, a former acting undersecretary for intelligence and analysis, Brian Murphy, wrote colleagues on July 25th that the Portland violence was not opportunistic, but organized, citing.
Well, that's not what Portland FBI told me.
No.
They said it was all completely
spontaneous
fake.
combustion.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's spontaneous forced combustion.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. Shady, let's go to the next one here. I just kind of grouped them all together. I'm gonna let you take it. Read bottom to top, so you read them in order.
This is Julian Assange, Seth Rich, John Brennan, Guccifer 2.0, all in a row, singled out.
And then it goes to this. This is 4713, and Shitty will comment on that in a second, but this is interesting. Mueller team deletes text messages. This won't do. If government wants those messages, all they have to do is go to the NSA Stellarwind database and pull them out as all SMS going over cell networks are captured and stored forever. Devin Nunes knows this. And there's Bill Minnie's tweet right there. And also we go to the YouTube and Q says already done. Q. cue. Let's go. Watch.
Already done.
Let's just watch. Here we go.
Looky there.
On the ground floor of the Trump-Russia investigation, he has long warned viewers on this program about D.C. leakers and corruption and the Russia probe. Devin Nunes is the ranking member of the House Intel Committee, and he is the author of the new book, Countdown to Socialism, which is on store shelves right now. Congressman, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk a bit about what's taking place this week. We learned that more than a dozen government-issued phones used by Mueller's team during the Russia probe were wiped clean. Isn't this obstruction of justice? Is that a federal crime punishable up to 20 years? Your reaction to this?
Well, the way I look at this is thank God for Judicial Watch, who was actually able to fight the Department of Justice to get this information. This, it looks like it occurred at a very interesting time. This is when the Lovebirds text messages were discovered. So clearly after that, everybody on the Mueller team went and wiped their phone. So the question here is was there an investigation? Because if there was, that could be obstruction of justice. But I think regardless of that, this is destruction of federal records. We cannot have a justice system, whether it's at the federal level or the state level or local level, where records are being destroyed, Maria, because, I mean, that's how we have a fair and equal justice system here, that if there's misconduct of any kind, that you can go back and look at what the prosecutors were doing. And look, this is very relevant. If I was in General Flynn's shoes right now, I'd be furious. And I think that as all Americans should be upset about this. But for the Republican Party has to prioritize this, that these guys are prosecuted and held accountable. This was a witch hunt against our party, against a political party. They politicized and weaponized. Just like Director Ratcliffe said, they weaponized this intelligence. They knew, and I'll just finish with this part. Remember, all of these witch hunters on the Mueller team knew the day they walked in the door that there was no evidence of collusion. So what they were doing is they set an obstruction of justice trap. And I've spoke directly to attorneys that dealt with these people. The stories that come out of there, and they have attorney-client privilege, so they can't talk about who they were representing. But they've all come to me, Maria, and I don't mean just one. I mean several have come to me and said how out of control they were, the threats that they were making to their clients. And here you have it. They wiped some 30 phones. This is so wrong. It's infuriating to me.
So is it 30 phones? How many phones were wiped? And is there going to be any accountability, Congressman? I mean, what are you going to do about it? For the last 3 years, all I've heard is about obstruction of justice and collusion on the other side. And the president's critics constantly say that that's what he's doing. In fact, that's what they have been doing. I mean, Hillary Clinton destroyed, 30,000 emails? No accountability whatsoever. Right. She even used a hammer to try to destroy devices. And then it was like a joke about it. Ron Johnson has been on this show umpteen times telling us that there were 125 leaks in the first 126 days of the new administration. So where's the accountability?
Well, look, this is why this is so critical. So as legislators, we don't have handcuffs and we don't have guns. But this is why the Department of Justice has to rein these bad guys in. There has to be an investigation of this. Now, look, it is possible there already is one. Remember, there's the Durham investigation, but there's also 3 other U.S. attorneys from Missouri, from Pennsylvania, and from Texas that are looking into the areas surrounding all of this. So hopefully there's already an investigation on this, I would hope. But if I'm in General Flynn's shoes, I sure want to know what these prosecutors were doing.
Well, when are you expecting John Durham? Are we going to see a solution or conclusions to his criminal investigation within the next 2 weeks? News this week that one of his key or lead investigators has stepped down. What's behind her stepping down, in your view?
Well, look, we don't know that, but you have to remember the fake news complex in this country that's essentially the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. They were involved in this entire Russian hoax. And so the only thing that's out there right now on this prosecutor stepping aside is the very people that were involved in this, and they're spinning up their own story, building their own fake news narrative like they always do. But here's what we know. The Department of Justice hasn't said anything. The U.S. Attorney in Connecticut hasn't said anything. So all of this is just speculation. And the last thing I'm going to do is listen to the same hoaxers propaganda arm of the Democrats, the media, these media operatives, spin their story and their tale of lies when they've been involved in this from the very beginning.
In fact, this week, Kamala Harris once again raised the issue of Russia interference. We've been hearing that a lot. We know that Ratcliffe had to set the record straight and say, look, I give a presentation about election interference, and certain members of Congress, they go and leak it to their favorite news people, and then they miss the whole story because it's Russia, China, and Iran trying to interfere. But you heard what Kamala Harris said this week, right? What's your reaction?
Well, Kamala Harris is from California. She's a senator. She never meets with Republicans. And in fact, this is someone who essentially Obama had picked her to run. Obama and his team had picked her to run. And then she floundered. She fell flat. She was going to get last place in Iowa and New Hampshire in the early primaries. So she quickly dropped out after burning up tens of millions of dollars. And then, the story that is not being told to the American people is that Bernie Sanders was in the pole position and he was going to win. And Obama and his team knew that Sanders, as an outright socialist, that he would lose. And so what they did is they propped up Biden, who appears to be nothing more than just an avatar, and then they plugged in their apparatchik, the Kamala Harris, who's never really had a real race in California because we're a one-party state out in California where the Republicans are essentially just sacrificial lambs. So she really never had a race when she was district attorney. Then she was put into as Attorney General of California. And so, look, she's totally unqualified, and she wouldn't know what the hell the difference between Russian collusion and China collusion would be. All she knows is she's a Politburo apparatchik that's going.
So here we go. There you go, Shady. Funny being trolled by these guys. We just had peace in the Middle East, and Q knew about it, and you can go beep yourself.
Yeah, your narrative is just about done.
General McChrystal trolls, how are you, the real Q? Hi.
How's your YouTube analytics over there?
I hope they're giving me views.
They're at least giving us a couple of views.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. So keep trolling because your poop don't work here because you're just talking about, why did real Q go away? Can you prove that he went away? I proved that he posted yesterday, Shady, as early as yesterday. In fact, let's go check. Yep. Here are the Q posts. There they are. Huh. Amazing. So Q is here. Wow. All right. So your crap doesn't work here, General McChrystal. I'm so sorry. Now let's go look at Guccifer 2.0. This is a new report raises big questions about last year's DNC hack. And then, Shady, you're going to take Seth Rich. Former NSA experts say it wasn't a hack at all, but a leak, an inside job by someone with access to the DNC system. It wasn't Russia, asshats. And I'm talking to you guys that are all trolling us right now. We have peace in the Middle East, so you guys can step back. You can't, whatever, dude. So basically, this is what happens. The first of findings made the public that the paper dated July 9th concerned the volume of supposedly hacked material and what is called the transfer rate. We have more than you know, guys. The transfer rate, that's the time that a remote hack would require. The metadata established several facts in this regard with granular precision. On the evening of July 5th, 2016, 1976 megabytes of data were downloaded from the DNC's server. The operation took 87 seconds. This yields a transfer rate of 22.7 megs per second. These statistics are matters of record and essential to disproving the hack theory and you McChrystal trolls. No internet service provider such as a hacker, no Russian hacker, no collusion, under Schiff's own admission with his documents that he released, would have had access to use this in mid-2016, was capable of downloading data at this speed. Compounding this contradiction, Guccifer claimed to have run his hack from Romania, which for numerous reasons, technically called delivery overheads, would slow down the speed of the hack, even if further from maximum achievable speeds. And we got a link there for the sauce. But there's another one here. So there's a lot more to this than you realize. Think collective attacks versus Q. Hey, guys. How are you guys? Hi, collective attacks versus Q. They attack Alex Jones to give him fake credibility amongst POTUS supporting patriots, thus poisoning the water and directing the narrative of the opposition through a Mossad-supported asset, a.k.a. Alex Jones. All team effort coordinated collective attacks with pawns and actors serving black hat agenda and attempting to control divide the Patriots. Attack will come from all sides. And Q says, control and divide. Think Mueller, who is testifying before Mueller tomorrow. And that, by the way, was Corsi. Then we got forensic data analysis on phones and or computers. This is not about Guccifer 2.0. What happens if Mueller proves Free Speech Systems LLC, aka InfoWars, is linked to a foreign intel agency or another non-domestic entity? How can the left use that information to divide and censor the right? Why are affiliates of InfoWars constantly attacking Q? Who is pulling the strings? Mossad, Free Speech Systems LLC, Q. Let's go to the next Guccifer post here, Shady, as well. Here it is, Guccifer 2.0 Q, right? I think I have them all. Yep, I had them all there. But basically, it wasn't Guccifer. And also, they're trying to get Roger Stone. That's why he's back in the news, because of Guccifer. He said that they interviewed Guccifer, blah, blah, blah. It was Seth Rich. Shady, why don't you take Seth Rich? What would you like me to do? Do you got something that you want to put on screen here?
Well, yeah, I could just drop you the thread. I did a little thread yesterday where I just put them all together because, I mean, man, really, it tells a big story whenever you kind of go back and read these posts about this stuff. I'm dropping it to you here.
Okay, great. So, Seth Rich was murdered, okay? He was 187. They said that he was robbed, but there was nothing taken. Seth Rich is a hero. He is a regular Democrat, like we knew back in the day when we were watching Democrats and Republicans were all watching a baseball game and we all stood for the national anthem. When we actually
didn't really know who the person beside you was.
Well, yeah, when we actually thought, hey, we could do this. So, Shady, let's talk about Seth Rich. And by the way, according to Q Post, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is the one that called for the killing. Okay, Shady.
And so this right here, whenever we got this in yesterday, I said his name was Seth Rich. He was a patriot. Russia did not steal anything from the DNC server. You will hear a lot more about him soon. In Magic, they would call Russian collusion misdirection. The time is getting closer. We stand for the truth fight. And I would just like to say to you guys, this is what we mean with what Q means. Future proves past. Like if you're not seeing it now, you're not able to see it. We are combating the mainstream media narrative in real time. So let's run through some of these real quick. And we'll just paint the picture for you in case a lot of you haven't seen these. This is post 85. Who funds MS-13? Why did Barack Obama instruct HS and BP to release MS-13 captures at the border? What agency has direct ties to two major drug cartels? Why is Attorney General Sessions in POTUS prioritizing the removal of MS-13? Why is AG Sessions POTUS prioritizing the building wall? Immigration? Drugs? Who do you hire for a hit? Who can be eliminated after the job is complete? Seth Rich, who was found dead shortly after his murder. What affiliation did they have? Classified. So you see, this was the first time we were really pointed towards Seth Rich. And this is 11/4. This is like 5 days into Q, guys. This is how long we've had this information. It's quite a long time now. This is post 92, 7 posts later. Seth Rich only mentioned because it directly relates to SA or Saudi Arabia, maybe something else. Las Vegas. What hotel did the reported gunfire occur from? What floor specifically? Who owns the top floors? Top floors only? Why is that relevant? What was the shooter's name? What was his net worth? How do you identify a spook? What can historical data collection reveal? Was there any eyewitnesses? Who? Was he registered as a security guard? Why is MS-13 important? What doesn't add up? Was there only one shooter? Why was JFK released? What did the JFK files infer? Was there only one shooter? Who was in Las Vegas during this time? What was the real mission? Speculate. Why are survivors dying randomly? What do each of these survivors have in common? Did they talk on social media? What did they say? Where were they going to form a group? And why is this relevant? can't see the bottom one. I think it was one more picture. How did they die? What CIA report was released by I think that's WikiLeaks. Is that WikiLeaks? WK? Is that what that's referencing? What can control a car? How did the two of the survivors die? Car crash? How does this connect to SA? What just happened in SA? Who owns the top floors of the hotel? What happened today in SA? To who specifically? Was POTUS in Las Vegas that night? Yes or no? Why was he there? Who did he have a classified meeting with? Did Air Force One land at McCarran? What unmarked tail numbers flew into McCarran that night? Trace Air Force One that day. What do you notice? Classified. Q. Now, this is connecting Seth Rich to things that are going on with Saudi Arabia, CIA, and the Las Vegas incident and the president being there that night. And a lot of people have kind of forgotten about these posts, Matrixx.
Oh, yeah. That's because we're a sock puppet channel here.
Oh, right. Then here it is where an Anon says, Seth Rich coming, and Q says, the floor is yours, with the underscore, which to me makes me think that this is some sort of a future marker, maybe a 2-year delta coming into a couple of days before the inauguration, or 3 years before the inauguration in 2020. But interesting, the floor is yours almost looks like a little bit of a marker post as opposed to an information post.
That's right. Look at that. Seth Rich coming. The floor is yours. Q. Very interesting. So here's the next one, Shady. I mean, this is Seth Rich, guys. Q has been talking about Seth Rich. This one is from 4/4/2018. Keep going.
It was not supposed to be revealed that POTUS is not under criminal investigation, not yet. Traitor. Whenever they leaked that information to the media in April of 2018. Massive intel sweep. Manafort was a plant. Trace's background, open source. Who was arrested? Non-U.S. Trace background, open source. Carter Page was a plant. Trace background, open source. Why is Mueller going after inside plants? Flynn is safe. Define witness. Can a witness hold a position of power and influence while ongoing? Russia. Real or fake? Fake. Julian Assange, J.A. Seth Rich, MS-13, 187, 2 of them, 24. Distance, MS-13, 13 equals M. This is interesting. I found this the other day. The wheel, no investigation into WikiLeaks receipt of information, no pull down of NSA metadata, trace C to WikiLeaks, no pull down of NSA metadata, period, nothing transferred across the web, direct to direct bypass dump. Moving into the next one. No direct investigation. Whoop. You double click.
Just teasing you, Shady. Ha 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 ha.
Woohoo. No direct investigation into DNC computer software. They didn't investigate any of this stuff, guys. No direct investigation into CS.
Whoop. I'm sorry. We just got a post from that real Q, guys. He just posted on his YouTube in the Matrixxx channel, silences Patriots for removal of what? I didn't even know what he's talking about. Oh, sorry, guys. I just wanted to let you know that.
He's already publishing.
Yeah, he's already publishing.
Oh, that's really nice of you, bro.
What? What? All right, so go over there, guys. We'll post the link over there. You guys can go laugh at him real quick. But keep this show up, and we will go ahead and post that there. Shady, this is hilarious, guys. I'm sorry. I just had to. Real Q. Q.
They're triggered because of what we just witnessed, bro.
Yeah, buddy. And I'm proud.
This is going to trigger you. I can't imagine what the 8-coon looks like right now.
Oh, my God.
They're coming hard. I can feel it.
They are so mad, Shady, that our president just made peace with damn near, 3/4 of the Middle East or half of the Middle East and more to come?
Yeah, I mean, a large portion of it, and because all these Middle Eastern countries are connected into being against Israel, and when one falls, they're all going to fall. They have no choice. So this was back to no direct investigation into CrowdStrike, CS, FBI, Supreme Court, DOJ, Fed, G, simply trust CrowdStrike's report on data breach. Hussein block, Hussein control, Hussein state secrets, White House, NatSec articles, 1 through 9 buried. A1 attached. DWS as well. America for sale. Cheating Obama. Trust the plan. April showers. That was the next one in the line. And then we got Q post 1009 added to that post. So this was a previous post of the one I just read. And then he added to that right after troops to border, clown, black ops, private funds raised how? Troops at border does what? Impact to who? D's involved. MS-13, illegals, roadblock. Sex traffic, roadblock. Children, roadblock. Drugs, roadblock. Guns, roadblock. China, Russia pass through intel pull, roadblock. Name we don't say, AZ roadblock. Jeff Flake, AZ roadblock. Big money, terminate. The wall means more than you know. The fight for the wall is so much more. Huge emphasis
So
on
much
that.
more. Wow, that's amazing. And just so you know, name we don't say is John McCain, if you're new to Q. Clown,
no
Black Ops. Clown refers to the clowns in America, which are the CIA. And so MS-13, obviously. We actually found that MS-13 is ultimately controlled by the triads, China, Shady. We'll be doing that later. Shady, check this out. This is your next one, buddy.
All right, this is moving. We're at this point, we're at 4/19/18. This is 1195. Anon says, when will we find out about Seth Rich and Las Vegas? Seth Rich connects to DNC, MS-13, and Julian Assange. Why did the D's push legal representation on the family? June, ETA, Q. So this is, see how all this is connected. DNC, CrowdStrike, server, all of it's the same. And then here in this post, Q posted a picture of Seth Rich sitting there, probably a Sunday afternoon with some friends before he was murdered by the DNC for downloading the server contents to a thumb drive to get them to Julian Assange to distribute to WikiLeaks, that set out the whole story that the Russians gave the information to WikiLeaks. This is getting ready. The fork in this road is getting ready to get really shallow because you guys are here to counter the narrative. And then Q asks, Anon asks in post 2607, 12/12/18, is Seth Rich alive? And Q says no. And I found this one very interesting, Matrixxx. This was 4/30 of this year. Was the DNC hacked by Russia? CIA Brennan Force. Now remember,
Now we got
everybody in the
Brennan
news is
connected,
talking about
Shady.
this secret Brennan Force out there.
And remember the 4 posts in a row, Shady, right? So Brennan was in there. Guccifer
Yep.
2.0, Seth Rich.
Seth Rich, Julian Assange.
Boom.
So Seth Rich, internal download, hand-to-hand pass USA, CrowdStrike code insert. If FBI chain of command was corrupt, what other investigations were corrupted? Who did they provide cover for, and how far back did it go? Tells us the whole story, guys. And then I put the couple of links below there. I put this all in a thread for you because you can see how everything is connected. CrowdStrike, Russian collusion, Adam Schiff, the cover-up, the attack on Devin Nunes, all of these things that have been touted by your media, every one of them is a complete lie. There was no Russian hack. There's been no relinquishing of the servers, quote unquote, supposedly, even though we know we have the servers. They have never investigated the servers in a surface investigation, even though they say that CrowdStrike did the research on this. That's like putting the fox in the hen house.
So that's amazing, guys. That is absolutely, absolutely amazing. Shady, good job. So we connected all of those Q posts. You see that now, right, guys? This is the Guccifer. So we talked about Guccifer, Seth Rich, and then we could probably go through all the Julian Assange ones as well. But this,
Right.
We just tied John Brennan. Why is John Brennan there? Why is Seth Rich there? Why is Assange there? Well, now we know. because it's
Guccifer
coming.
there. Guccifer was the insert. Guccifer was the person that the deep state was using as a narrative. Like they said, oh, Guccifer 2.0 did the work.
He did it. Right. Exactly right, guys.
I mean, it really is very interesting whenever you kind of pull back and see.
I know. The 40,000
I wanted
view.
to. Did we get through the Q post? I can't remember where we're at.
Yeah, we did. I believe we did. Hold the lines.
Okay.
Oh yeah, just this one. Hold the line, riders. Justice coming. Q. Now, interestingly to note, Shady, that the Atlantic was the very first place where the Midnight Ride was actually posted. Shady, did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. So I wanted that to be an interesting to
Whoa,
note.
that is interesting.
Yeah. So the Atlantic it was founded like in 1800s, right? And now we got Jobs, widow, in charge of it now, controlling a crappy narrative. But here it is. Did you know Paul Revere's Ride was first published in the January 1861 issue of the now disgraced Atlantic?
Interesting. And that would have been 1861. So that would have been
Here it is.
right around the time of the death of Lincoln, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is when it was published, right? The Revere Ride.
Yeah. No, that's whenever they published the story. But I'm just saying that's the era, how far back that goes.
Correct. So
Crazy.
they are not, I mean, in my opinion, this is a garbage newspaper now, Shady. With the disrespect
Yeah,
to the soldiers.
I think that it's I think it it may have run its course.
It may have run its course just a little bit. So did you see this, Shady? I did not know. I thought I'd never see the day.
I saw you had this up last night. I didn't see it before.
Superman's
that,
kid
what
is a
in the
commie.
world is going on?
Superman's kid is a commie now, guys. And by the way, it was directed by Liu, which is Lee. That's the Lee bloodline. Just FYI. Liu is also Lee.
See why it's so important to change history?
Yeah.
Now Superman is fighting to keep China communist.
Let's listen.
That requires different methods.
Human nature or man's nature?
Would you prefer we were like America? Brainiac.
A nation in decline, Princess. Economic depression, social unrest bordering on civil war, millions on the brink of starvation.
I had high hopes for Kennedy when he was first elected, but he's turned out to be just like the rest of them. Ranting about the Red Menace, refusing all offers of aid.
Perhaps it would be more efficient, sir, to invade their shores and compel them to align with the rest of the world.
Out of the question. This global revolution has been, with rare exceptions, bloodless. America will eventually fall, and we'll be there to pick up the pieces. It requires different...
Pretty weird, huh?
Huh. Yeah.
Pretty weird, folks.
Fairly infuriating.
Yeah. Right?
I mean,
what do you
don't know.
do? How do you do that? How do you explain that, Shady? How do you even grasp that?
I do not know. I saw the picture. I didn't see the clip until just now. I'm grappling with that in the moment.
I am Superman, and JFK was an idiot. Talking about the Red Scare all the time. Wow.
Yeah.
America's not going to fall, pal. Tell you that right now, Red Sun. Wow, Shady. I wanted to also try to find this video real quick because, well, look at this. I don't even want to play that, but this is disgusting. You can see what they're chanting, okay? I wanted to also find, Q posted Midnight Riders, and then he posted you're turning into the, let me try to find it. I'm sorry for the scroll, guys. Look at Q Army Japan, by the way. This is awesome. That's in Japan.
Strong.
Yeah. And Abe, who is a Lee, just resigned. Oh, what's happening here in Australia? Are these Chinese Gestapo troops? This is at the market, I believe it's called. Looks like they're using Chinese troops, Shady.
Not allowed to buy food.
Nope. You might get the COVID. Climate change,
I mean,
climate
look at that
change.
right there. I mean, if there's anything that you can point to, man, I mean, there it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what your ultimate, the ultimate goal of these people are, is to control you.
That's
in
right.
every aspect of your life.
That's right. It's painfully obvious who's leading in the polls, guys. It's painfully obvious. Now, just make sure you get out there and vote, please. Please, please, please. I want to also just try to find this. Oh, the gloves are off. Man, where is it? Here it is. Okay, Shady. So this is Shady. Q actually posted the last part of this. Let's listen. This is from the Q post with all those names, right? Shady? Was this from all the names? Let me see. Which one was it, Shady? Let me see. Stand by.
Yeah.
Let me make it a little
I think it was from the one with all the archive names, right? Yeah, there it is, right here on your right. Yep.
Where?
I thought that was it right there, 4697 at the bottom.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, so it says combat tactics, Mr. Ryan. Here's where it comes from.
315.
Red October.
You're heading straight into that torpedo.
Yes.
Doing what? It's turned right into the torpedo's path.
What?
Red October's turned directly into the torpedo's path, sir.
Mother of God.
Torpedo steady bearing 315, range 5,000 yards.
Pelican, more speed.
Negative. You're already running 110%.
And give me 115%.
Estimate range 3,000 yards, closing awfully fast.
He's headed right into the torpedo. What's he trying to do? Kill himself?
Thompson, we have a firing solution on the Russian Alpha. Can we shoot back?
They didn't shoot at us. I can't attack a Soviet submarine without authorization.
Torpedo bearing steady at 315. Best range 900 yards.
Torpedo impact 20 seconds.
What books?
Pardon me?
What books did you write?
I wrote a biography of Admiral Halsey called The Fighting Sailor about naval combat tactics.
I know this book.
Torpedo impact.
Your conclusions were all wrong, Brian.
10 seconds.
Halsey acted stupidly.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Torpedo impact.
Here's the quote. Ready?
I'll be damned.
What happened?
Combat tactics, Mr. Ryan. By turning into this torpedo, the captain closed the distance before it could arm itself.
Boom. Pretty amazing right there, huh?
Wow.
Combat
See the connection?
There it is, Mr. Ryan. And these are all the people right now. We kind of went through these a little bit. These are all people
all arrested for arson.
Yep.
So I don't know if you're in a moment where we can grab something else right now, or are you headed somewhere?
Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
I got a mouse in my pocket. Let's go grab Q drop number. Oh, where'd I look? I lost it. No, number 144. I want to go over this. I found something interesting last night. Did you see the president in his Twitter yesterday? Well, I can't find the tweet I was just looking for right now, but he said speed in all caps. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't, but go ahead.
Okay, so what? There's only like a couple of posts that had the movie Speed posted with it, and I found this one, and I wanted to read it because there's one in particular. I'm going to read the whole thing, but there's one in particular point of this I'm going to stop and focus on as I go through this, so that you can maybe help clarify to some people that are trying to understand Q. Patriots don't sleep. 40,000 foot view necessary to understand USSA global events. Think about what's happening right now. Paint the picture. Decreased altitude will never fly that high again. Higher the altitude, greater the risk of conspiracy, ST. Many cannot and will not swallow. Remember that. Many cannot and will not swallow. What is no such agency? Q Group. Who has clearance to full picture? Important. SIS is good. Plus, 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 Admiral R, plus, plus, plus. What agency is at war with clowns in America? How does POTUS shift narrative? New age of enlightenment. 80% covert, 20% public. What has occurred over the last several months? C, InfoLeaks, operations, think SA plus question mark, CNN sale. What companies record large cash injection by clowns in America? Public. Why? Who does it hurt? Who controls the mainstream media? And right here on this line, think about this. This is very important. Primary objective from beginning. POTUS, discredit mainstream media. Primary objective. Why is this relevant? How is information transmitted? How are people informed? Why is Sarah A.C. attacked? Hack attempt. Why is Operation Mockingbird repeated? Why was Jason Bourne's CIA dream repeated? Think social media platforms. Who are the wizards and warlocks? What council do the wizards and warlocks control? Think Snowden. Inside terms dropped. Alice in Wonderland. Understood. Snow White. Understood. Iron Eagle. Question mark. Godfather 3. Question mark. Speed. Question mark. Everything has meaning. Disney is a distraction. Senate and Congress equal puppets. Not all power shift for God and country, for humanity. Geronimo. Now, that was one of only 3 posts where Q had said the word speed at the bottom of the post in a reference to a movie. And I found that very interesting for maybe anybody out there that's new to Q to understand that the primary objective of the president in this Q operation is to discredit the mainstream media. And I want to just show you the comparison of what's happened in the last week or so with the Atlantic story and the narrative they tried to run and how we shut it down. And then the fire story out here on the West Coast, and they ran the climate change narrative and we shut it down. This is how we are combating the narrative in real time. And this is what the digital army is amassed to accomplish. And what you're seeing right now is the narrative cannot function. Propaganda cannot move if truth is available. If truth is available, propaganda can run rampant. But if truth is available, propaganda can't go anywhere. And what we have done is we have degraded the mainstream media's impact to such a degree now that the large majority of people who are patriots and paying attention to your president are no longer believing anything that they say, which means the operation was a great success, in my opinion.
Shady, look at this, too. We got U.S. in kill box, risk in kill box. Then we've got U.S. risk, the THIS. U.S. risk this. Forgotten country. Oh, ER. Risk this. E.
This was the one that said pray, right? At the end?
No.
Oh, it wasn't that one?
No. This is
now I'm looking at it. Okay, now I'm with you.
So U.S. risk. THIS. This. With an
W.
E? You see a W between here?
I see a W right under primary objective from POTUS, the W in the kill box.
Gotcha.
And then E. And then E.
The U.S. forgotten country.
Week.
Huh.
This week. That's what it was. This week.
U.S. risk this week. Forgotten country. Wow. And then look at, and then you look at the ones, we will not fly that high again. And then let's look for other think SA, public, hack attempt, CIA dream, inside terms dropped, not all, power shift. Wow, guys, that's awesome.
We just saw a major power shift today, didn't we? I mean, that was freaking,
Yeah, we did.
80% covert, 20% public. You're not really seeing what's really going on, but you're seeing the end result.
Yeah, and there's reasons why Q puts. I mean, we're going to be decoding Q for centuries, guys.
Your grandkids are going to be decoding Q.
Right? Yeah, history books. Wow, Shady, that was very, very good. And I didn't find the POTUS tweet. I was looking for that too, but then I got hung up on that. I don't know if the mods found it.
Yeah, I was actually looking for it right here. It was early on yesterday. He had speed in all capital letters at the very end, and I think he was referencing the arsonist or something out here. It's where it caught me onto it, and then I went back and saw that one, and it caught primary objective from beginning. I wanted to showcase that for you guys to understand that it's part of the reason why this thing couldn't end in 6 months.
Right, absolutely. So it's interesting if you go to those movies too. Where are the movies? Were they in here, Shady? Godfather 3. Eagle. So Iron Eagle, that could be the Federal Reserve, right? The Godfather 3, that could be Sheldon Adelson. He was called the Godfather of Israel or Middle East. And then 3 is somebody that got the Godfather 3 was actually trying to repent for his sins and try to make everybody like him. Speed. And he says Disney's a distraction, so it means not movies, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So everything has meaning.
Exactly.
So
let's see here. It says right up there. Which line was it on? It says inside terms, right around the Wizards and Warlocks.
So remember when we were looking at the terms that speed? It's in financial institutions.
Yes. Right.
It's speed
and that's
to
what
market.
that's what I think that this post told us. Then is like think Snowden inside terms dropped, meaning Alice in Wonderland, Snow White, Iron Eagle, Godfather, Speed. Those are Geronimo. Those are inside terms that Q is exposing
Speed
to
is
us for
Speed is a